behind the camera the whole time, filming everything you see.
I feel like we don't talk to a lot of people on the series who do have a writer's room for the most part. What's the role of the writer's room on this show?
I'm constantly jotting down little ideas and things that give me intense anxiety or something perplexing that like a problem I don't really know how to solve. And even when I Google it, it doesn't really come up with a very satisfying answer. So I kind of like bring a lot of these things to the writer's room, and then we just have these really long conversations about each topic and try to take them to their logical conclusions and see like how many different ways this is represented in society in like, you know, in the most abstract or literal ways. And then I try to draft like very rough scripts of what might happen in an episode about something like this. We give that to production. We kind of put a plan in action to shoot it. And every single script is rewritten from, you know, the ground up, like by the time we're done with the edit, because so much of the rewriting in the most abstract or literal ways. And then I try to draft like very rough scripts of what might happen in an episode about something like this. We give that to production. We kind of put a plan in action to shoot it. And every single script is rewritten from, you know, the ground up, like by the time we're done with the edit, because so much of the rewriting has to happen in the edit, because we're now writing to these shots that we never could have predicted that we would have, and they're always so much better than the stuff that we like kind of roughly conceived. It's just this process that is constantly evolving.
So stick with me, and I'll show you how to solve problems that you didn't even know you had. Because even if it looks like you've got it all figured out, there's always a million ways to get it wrong.
What kind of things are you asking for when you're trying to get other footage that you might not already have?
Each second unit team has a scavenger hunt list. You know, like in the wine episode, we, you know, there was like legs. Legs was a big one. Like, you know, the kind of vocabulary of wine lingo. A lot of the time they just capture better stuff than the scavenger hunt stuff. And once enough second unit people shoot like the same thing enough times, like accidentally, and I notice patterns in the footage, then I tell them to double down on it usually and just continue shooting like more of that thing. You know, I shoot all day and then I will receive the 3 or 4 teams worth of footage at night and comb, just like power scan through all of it and make selects from there. And then I have to like tell them like how to reorient the next day to like, you know, whether or not they have too much of it or to get more of whatever.
Some legs are a little hard to interpret, but if you're afraid of saying the wrong thing when describing them, you can always just say, nice legs, and everyone will accept that as an appropriate response.
Does your approach to the show or what you do change at all when you do go to other places? Like, how did you sort of adjust to being in like Florida and Vegas?
I really do feel like a fish out of water in those environments, but a lot of the time that leads to interesting stuff when I don't like have my set kind of routines or like well-worn paths that I'm on in a city, and then I'll end up at some energy drink CEO's house. That was crazy. We were on the way to the airport, and we weren't even sure that like we were going to do that.
The only thing you're feeling is the way I've always felt.
I don't know if I would have had the confidence